Yeah. class after this. Thank you all for coming. Has anybody ever read The Slight Edge? Book The Slight Edge? 5, 6 of you? So there's a guy who wrote it named Jeff Olson. They call that the author, I think. And it says, the quickest and surest path to raising the quality of your life is to start hanging out with people who have been there and done that. Is Brian? I don't think Brian's supposed to be here. He always says one of the best ways, the most successful things he did was try to understand kind of who in the office did what he wanted to do, and he just started hanging around him and listening to him and being around him and seeing him, and there's a lot you can learn from that. So before we jump in, I want to go watch this. I thought this was kind of a cool video. Real quick, I'm going to give you a background. I think it might make more sense. So this was a commercial. You may have seen it. I have not seen it, but it was a commercial for Dove that Dove put out. But they basically hired an FBI sketch artist, and he basically couldn't see the people he was drawing, but he was drawing people behind a curtain, and they were describing themselves. And then he got someone else to describe them and drew a separate portrait of them. And it's just sort of a story about how different those are. So take a look.
I'm a forensic artist. Worked for the San Jose Police Department from 1995 to 2011.
I showed up to a place I'd never been, and there was a guy with a drafting board.
We couldn't see them, they couldn't see us.
Tell me about your hair.
I didn't know what he was doing, but then I could tell after several questions that he was drawing me.
Tell me about your chin.
It kind of protrudes a little bit, especially when I smile.
Your jaw.
My mom told me I had a big jaw.
What would be your most prominent feature?
Kind of have a fat, rounder face.
The older I've gotten, the more freckles I've gotten.
I would say I have a pretty big forehead.
Once I get a sketch, I say thank you very much, and then they leave. I don't see them.
All I had been told before the sketch was to get friendly with this other woman, Chloe.
Today I'm going to ask you some questions about a person you met earlier, and I'm going to ask you some general questions about their face.
She was thin, so you could see her cheekbones. And her chin, it was a nice, thin chin.
She had nice eyes. They lit up when she spoke. She had blue eyes, very nice blue eyes.
So here, this is a sketch that you helped me create, and that's a sketch that somebody described over here.
So yeah, that's...
She looks closed off and fatter. Sadder, too. The second one looks more open, friendly, and happy.
I should be more grateful of my natural beauty. It impacts the choices and the friends that we make, the jobs we apply for, how we treat our children. It impacts everything. Couldn't be more critical to your happiness.
Do you think you're more beautiful than you say?
Yeah. Yeah.
We spend a lot of time as women analyzing and trying to fix the things that aren't quite right. And we should spend more time appreciating the things that we do like.
So, one, I thought that was pretty cool. But just as a reminder that everybody here is obviously really important to me and really important to the company and to hopefully to each other. And I think you can be really important to your clients. A lot of us, I hear this probably from people that just are looking for, some reassurance, but your clients oftentimes think maybe more yourself, and so don't forget that. And they think that you're there to take care of them, that's what you are there to do. So just a good reminder to stay positive about what you're doing as you go into the spring busy market, and keep your head high. On that note, what are y'all grateful for today? That is good. Reverend Brittany. Anybody else?
I am more beautiful than I thought.
I've been thinking about that all morning. What you got?
My kids had mono for 10 days, and today's the first day, so it's not people free.
First day mono free.
Grateful for Jake, new agent, new mentee. Excited.
Welcome, Jake.
Oh, sorry. I'm grateful that we had 2 days of sun this past weekend, and hopefully it'll pop out again in the next day or two.
Sunny and 60 on Saturday or Sunday, whatever it was. It's pretty awesome.
Beautiful.
So, pretty cool. All right, well, a little bit of upcoming education stuff. And so, Lee, where are you? Are you here? Colin, y'all are going to do a little tag team today?
Yes, sir.
What are you talking about?
Special stipulations and I write them correctly. By write them, I mean pull them from the 707. Your contract, and then we have the famous Lloyd Carney who has gifted us with some additional ones.
Awesome.
And Zach did your escalation clause extraordinaire.
Yes.
Escalation
Courtesy
clause.
of Brittany up there that I stole from our transactions.
And I stole from Zach.
I stole from somebody, I don't know who. That's how it all goes around, right? All right, so Jumpstart's happening now, and it started yesterday, I think, and so you've got again tomorrow, and then on Friday, and again on Monday. We'll have sales meeting next week, and then another Jumpstart series on the 19th, Wednesday the 19th. Franklin sales meeting, we do another Brimtown class, and then Mark is doing a 1 mile radius book talk, which should be fun. If y'all haven't read that or want to know more about that, it's a cool story. And then another Jumpstart class on Friday, February 21st. And then Mentee Monday is going to be Monday, February 24th, going over buyer and seller presentations. So there's that. Hunter, what you got? I'm liking this sketch.
He looks better than I thought.
It's on? Here we go. All right. Let's talk politics. All right, so just gonna hit the high points because we had, Iowa last week, and today is New Hampshire. And so just to be clear, no matter who your favorite candidate is, we don't have to agree on everything. It's part of being in a democracy. We're just gonna focus on the Democratic side today, not because we all have to be Democratic, but because that's really the only race going on. So, just to recap, Iowa was kind of a mess last week. They couldn't figure out who won it for a couple of days. But these were the official results, and some pundits said the two people helped the most by Iowa results didn't even participate, and that would be Trump and Bloomberg, just because it was such a mess. But no doubt, Buttigieg won, and that was good. He got some momentum off of that, and then also Amy Klobuchar, by finishing with over 12% of the vote, that was a lot higher than expected. So just looking at today and what's going on and how to decipher the results that will be coming out of New Hampshire, I thought it'd be interesting to take kind of the top 5 candidates and look at just real quickly what's at stake. So number 5, I just mentioned, she finished better than expected in Iowa, and she's the senator from Minnesota, and had a really strong debate performance Friday night in New Hampshire. And it was so strong, her message was kind of the need to return for empathy in our politics, which would be nice. But it fueled a fundraising surge of over $2 million in the next 24 hours. So it's a big surge, and a lot of times votes correspond with that fundraising surge. So look out for her today. Could she move up in New Hampshire from 5th place? And then Joe Biden came in 4th in Iowa. Conventional wisdom is that he's going to do pretty poorly in New Hampshire. And if that happens, if he finishes 4th again for the second time, there will be some calls for him to drop out of the race. He'll likely ignore those calls to drop out of the race. And we'll forge ahead into Nevada, which is February 22nd, so about 10 days. And then South Carolina in February 29th, where they have more diversity, and he thinks he'll do better in those areas. But his money is really already dwindling. If he finishes kind of out of the running today, it's likely that'll dry up entirely, and his narrative could be one of decline. So important day for him. Elizabeth Warren came in 3rd in Iowa, and she looks to finish again 3rd, kind of a distant 3rd behind Bernie Sanders and Mayor Pete. If she does come in 3rd again and a distant 3rd, there will be calls for her to drop out, and then for there to be some more alignment and to endorse Sanders so that the liberal wing of the Democratic Party will be more united. So the question is, if that happens, will she listen to the calls for her to drop out? Bernie should do really well today. Remember in 2016, the Democratic nominee was Hillary Clinton. He beat Hillary in New Hampshire by 22%. So he's right next door in Vermont, where he's from. He's done really well in New Hampshire in the past. So in virtually every poll that's credible that's come out over the last 3 months has shown Sanders with a lead. So expect him to do well. And then Mayor Pete doesn't have to win today to keep his momentum going, but a strong 2nd place finish wouldn't hurt. He needs to get some momentum going in the next 2 states, Nevada and South Carolina, to keep his momentum going. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on politically, and today should be an interesting day. They're already voting. Locally, we got a new mall owner, Green Hills Mall. Simon Properties merged with Taubman Center, so Simon was already the largest mall owner in the country, and so now they're even larger.
What's the mall sell for?
Malls? Well, they're doing a $200 million renovation on the Green Hills Mall right now. So, did anyone else grow up in Nashville and remember the Green Hills Mall? What it was? It was not even a mall, was it? It was like a shopping center. It was a Walgreens, and it was David's Cookie. Remember David's Cookie? David's Kid was there. Lindsley's our Nashville historian. So it's contrast how well the Green Hills Mall is doing with most malls. So most malls look more like this. And I didn't realize this, but 25% of malls are expected to close in the next 5 years. It's a big number. Over 300 malls expected to close. So your typical mall, has your big anchors on the outside and then the smaller stores in the middle. And the problem has been all the anchors are going out of business, like JCPenney, Sears, Macy's, even Macy's isn't totally going out of business. They're just closing 20% of their stores or something like that. So, but Barney's is another major retailer, along with 10 others that filed for bankruptcy last year. Over 57,000 retail stores have closed in the last 10 years. So, anyways, just kind of as we shift to more online shopping, malls are becoming more entertainment focused. And, the old mall is kind of dying. But back to Green Hills, currently undergoing a $200 million renovation. the mall world is really the haves and have-nots. So you've got Green Hills, Cool Springs, both doing well, but like Rivergate, Hickory Hollow sold for like, in the downturn, like $1 million for, it was like $10 a foot or something crazy. The Bellevue Mall used to be a big thing, and now it's kind of coming back as a lifestyle center. But anyway, kind of a winner-take-all mall world. Okay, the other big story in Nashville that's happening right now is our soccer stadium. So the Fairgrounds Committee is meeting as we speak, but there's been a lot in the news. You've got John Ingram, the owner of the new MLS soccer team, Nashville SC, supposed to start playing in the next month. Is Jeremy here?
This month.
This month. And then the stadium will be built over the next year and a half or two. But there's a deadline, and if we don't start the stadium, we could lose the team. So it's like high stakes negotiations going on. And what's happened is new mayor who didn't support the when the council decided to do the stadium deal, John Cooper wasn't in favor. But he did campaign by saying, hey, that was decided. We're going to do the stadium. And so he won the election on that. And everything was going well. But then he started renegotiating over the last few weeks. And it's become public. He actually wrote an op-ed in the Tennessean this February. He said, I want a stadium deal that works for everyone. Nashville's very much open for business. We are in the business of stewarding taxpayer dollars and public assets. A mayor should negotiate for the whole city and be a voice for every resident. We need a financially sustainable path forward for soccer that enhances and preserves the historical uses of the fairgrounds. So, this is kind of the current deal up here, and then even in the last few weeks, the mayor has negotiated $54 million of additional incentives for the city. So basically, another $54 million that the Ingram and ownership group is going to pay in terms of overages and things like that. So he's negotiated a better deal, and the final, and it's kind of gotten public because he still won't sign the. He has to basically sign something so that the construction can start, and the mayor is holding out for some things, some additional incentives, and so the ownership groups come out, and it's gotten kind of political, even though the council supported the plan 31-8. The mayor refuses to allow construction to go forward, so it's gotten public, and then it's all around. So this is the fairgrounds. It's all around what's called Parcel 8C. It's a 2.4 acre parcel right in the middle here. And that was included in the original deal for the ownership group to develop this mixed use community. And the mayor wants to take it back and make sure that he has control over how that parcel is used, because this is all in the final few weeks. He's trying to negotiate a new deal with the Speedway and bring NASCAR in, and so this potential deal is basically holding up the stadium deal. And so the MLS people are saying it's too late. We don't have time to hold up. We're out of time. The soccer deal shouldn't be delayed for a deal that Cooper doesn't have yet on the racetrack. So anyway, that's what's going on. It's happening today. It should hopefully. We're not going to lose the soccer team, but it is a high-stakes game of chicken going on, local politics. And then some final good news. A new company is moving to Nashville from Irvine, California, and it's publicly traded. They basically are a logistics company in the healthcare world, but the best news about it is they decided to move without any state or city incentives as part of the move. So we didn't have to shell out tax incentives or anything like that in order to attract another good company. It's another and a long line of companies moving to Nashville, including Mitsubishi Motors in North America, Harrow Health, which is a pharmaceutical company, moved last year, and a bunch of others. So, good news on the job front. Zach?
Cool. All right, what are y'all seeing in the market? How is everything? The coming soon list last week was insanely long. This week there was one on there, so maybe y'all be busy getting your listings on the market. Rates? Connie, you want to talk to us about rates?
Yeah, we're at 3.5%, 30-year fixed, so rates are still amazing. You know, Chairman Powell saying, like, because of the coronavirus that's, you know, affecting kind of the market worldwide, so rates are just really amazing right now. So 3.5, you know, great. Everybody should buy a house or finance a house, actually. It's better. So, sell it.
Buy and finance. That's good. So just a reminder, about 15 months ago, this is where 30-year fixed was. Almost at 5. So, good stuff. All right, in your seat, or maybe next to your seat, you've got some information. We haven't gone through this in a while, but there's some fascinating stuff in here, and there's a lot here. I get that, but I think you might find it interesting. So I've got it broken down just a little bit bigger here. But what this does is this looks at, and this is just Davidson County residential, but the number of active properties, the average number of active properties in the market every month. So the average number of choices by year, right? So in 2002, if you averaged all the months, and usually there's more in the what? Spring, summer, right? Yeah. So you usually have more choices, more stuff in the market in the spring, summer than you do in the winter. But if you average it all out, 3,826. I'm sorry, medianed it out. Not average, but the median number is 3,826. So it peaked here in 2003 at almost 4,000 choices, and then went down a little bit as people were plucking stuff off the market. And then you had a several year run up. So from 2006, 7, and 8, we saw increasing numbers. And then some people here in 2009 just gave up and just took their stuff off the market, took their houses off the market. And then ever since then, ever since 2010, the number of choices have been going down. So you have population is doing what? Population, more people are coming, and there's less and less inventory. This is across all price ranges in Davidson County. And so the last year, so I would ignore that because that's only 1 month, so it doesn't really show the whole year. So it's low, but that's just because it's just January, right? So if you look at 2017, we had 3188, and 2016 we had 3127. So we've gone up. We started kind of creeping up a little bit. More and more houses were coming in the market. So 2018 we had a pretty good, obviously not this high, but we were back in this, in this range. But then 2019 it went down again. So choices are still low. What do they call that in econ? Supply, right? So demand would be what? Closed sales. Again, so ignore the 2020 mark, but you can see number of closed sales as inventory was going down. Closed sales were going up, peaked out in 2006, bottomed out in 2010. Very few people were buying or financing homes. And then you've had a run up ever since then with a big peak 2019 at 1,245 closings, which was more closings per month than you've seen since 2002 when I started playing the scale. So that's a lot. So that's pretty good. So maybe that would that help explain why there's not as much inventory, because it keeps getting swallowed up? Maybe. Price points, median prices. I think this is probably pretty self-explanatory and obvious, but prices are going up. Median prices for all of Davidson County is, in 2019 was 302, up from 288. So I don't know, do you think we'll see the 200s again?
No.
We went, look at that though, in 6 years, from 2014, in 5 years I guess, from 2014 to 2019, we went up from under $200,000 to over $300,000. 5 years. That's a big jump in 5 years. And then months of inventory, what does this mean? How would you calculate this? Months of supply, months of inventory? What does that mean? Effectively how long it's on the market. And the way you look at it is you say, all right, if there are 10 homes on the market and an average of 2 sell every month, and how many months do you have of homes? 5, right? So you only have 2.9 months of homes right now. That's January. But last year you had 2.7, 3.1, 2.7. If you look at some of the, I've got all the actual numbers here. If you look at some of the actual numbers here, these red spots, we've had 2.3. There's been several 2.3s and one 2.2 in 2015, but that's the lowest inventory that we've had in years. Right? So if you look at the actives, this is the fewest number. January of 2020 is the fewest number of homes in Davidson County that this is the fewest ever, second fewest ever. So December of 2015, and then December of 2019, and January of 2020, the fewest number of choices. So if you've got buyers that are saying, hey, why can't you find me something? Well, show them this, explain it's a tight market. Fewest number of closings were in 2009, 10, and 11 in January. Most number of closings, third most number of closings ever in 2006 was summer of last year. So just some interesting little data points. You can use those to talk about. And then number of pendings, most number of pendings ever in the last 18 years was in May of last year. Median price, again, that's pretty self-explanatory, prices are going up. So how would y'all, what else do you see or notice about this? So if you were trying to predict the market, looking at this, you've got, in 2005, that was the low point, and then you had 6, 7, 8. The market didn't really start feeling like it was getting bad until when? About 2008. We had a 3-year run forecasting that here. Same thing with closings. Closed properties were going in 2006, 7, and 8. So you had a big dip there. Are you seeing those dips here? You see a little bit of an increase, but then we went down again. I was pretty sure we were going to keep going up. I started seeing a forecasted slowing down, but it didn't happen. So you can use that as a leading indicator. Any other insight on this stuff? All right. Well, there it is. Trend graphics. Who uses this? A lot of y'all. Awesome. So if you want to use it, just a reminder, you can go to, I think there's a link on the market. You can also, I've got a little shortcut, zachgoodyear.net. And I was trying to set up just a little subdomain for Village TM for like the other stuff. But I haven't done that yet. I tried it and it didn't work. So that's coming soon. But you can go to zachgoodyear.net. I made a little shortcut there. But ultimately, if you know how to use RealTracs, you know how to use this. It's a really good way. If you like data and you like looking at stuff, all of this stuff came from Trend Graphics. I just copied and pasted it and put it in a spreadsheet. Super simple. So, but you can, it'll print out graphs for you if you like that stuff. If you don't, Chad saying, then don't worry about it. So these are out as well. These just came out. Caitlin got these out this morning. How's the market? January, Davidson County, average sold price 387, was up 15.2%. So that's the average sold price, not the median sold price. This stuff is looking at the median sold price, so see different numbers, that's why. Average sold price is 387. Days on market 86. That was up a lot from last year. But this same just month over month, right? Total number of closings. Properties for sale is down from last year. 2,600 properties for sale. Total properties closed was up about 7.5%. Williamson County, closed properties up about 8.5%. Inventory down, closings up, supply demand, right? That makes prices do what? Go up. So we should see up there. So good social media graphics, they come in square or rectangle format. You can also send them out as postcards. So go to viewresmarket.com. If you forgot how to do that, just Go to vrez-market.com, click on marketing, then click on how's the market under social media, and then you just click on there's a lot of different counties now. You can click on the county that you want, and then you can download a PDF or a JPEG in either square or postcode format. And that's that. Cool. Any broker opens this week? Nobody's feeding us. Let's see here. Where is, Hunter, you want to help with the coming soons? Shane, you here?
Yep.
So you got one.
Hey everybody. Alright, so this is super unique. I've got an HPR, both sides of an HPR on Marshall, so 100 and 102 Marshall, which is in Edge Hill. We are selling them together. They're listing later today. They're both 4 bedrooms. The right side, which is 102, is fully up, operational, fully furnished, and on Airbnb right now with over $40,000 in current bookings that we can transfer to the new owner. Obviously, with the HPR rules and short-term rentals, the left side would need to be owner-occupied. So imagine a single person or a young couple that has a down payment. They essentially live for free plus the income that's coming in, so it more than covers the mortgage for both properties. I have what's called AirDNA, if you guys are familiar. It's a kind of a projection, and I have the document. You can use AirDNA and it tells you what it's projected to make, and the projection gross is 138 a year on the one side. So it's going to list for 1.649, but they're built 2018. They're brand new, basically. These folks bought them in June of this year, but again, following the rules, living in one side, and he wants to move out. So he's been fine. He's just ready to move on to something else. But the person would need to have it as their primary residence, but it's a home run if someone has the ability to take on that amount of loan. And maybe Connie, maybe we can get together and talk about what that looks like for a mortgage to help if you got buyers that like what those numbers look like. But 138,000 potential gross income, and like I said, the cool part is that the current bookings through July can be transferred to the new owner, and it's up and running. So it's truly turnkey.
Calling my wife. Have you moving? Live for free. I like it. Hey.
I'll do it for 400.
Okay, so one in Madison, but this is gonna feel like Inglewood, kind of, and it's on over an acre. So they have chickens, they have a big yard, they have all that stuff in the city, and it's under $325. It's fully renovated, 3 bed, 2 baths, plus like an old style keeping room and like a playroom, sunroom. So you could, homeschool 10 kids there, whatever your people want to do. And then one in McFerrin Park, so right up Ellington Parkway, first exit to the left. This was built in 2006, 3 beds, 2 bath, a whole lot. There's no like neighbor in your back, neighbor beside you touching you. And you have an alley so you can add a garage. It just needs like new carpet and a more updated kitchen and like little things, but it's totally livable right now. It's been rented until like last week. So there you go.
Shane's got a place you can live for free. Kate's got a place you can homeschool 10 kids. Anybody else have chickens? Anybody done chickens? You have chickens? We did chickens a lot. Chickens are fun. Bring in eggs. The hawks got our chickens. Gotta be ready to lose some chickens. Chickens are pretty low on the food chain. Anything can eat a chicken. A hawk, raccoons, anything. The chickens get sick. Ours didn't live long enough to get sick. 8 months of chickens. They were good eggs for us.
Really, Hunter just got hungry one afternoon. It was Sunday and Chick-fil-A was closed. So. Bad. Hey, I was driving down I was driving down Oakland the other day, and I'm trying to remember everybody. I saw 5 village signs. I drove down Oakland, and then maybe I turned right on or left on Cedar or something, and I saw Johnny had one, Scott had one, Mary Beth had one, Kendi had one. It was awesome. It was just like boom, 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 boom. Everywhere I turned, I couldn't get away. So it was pretty cool. What's that? Oh, is Village going away? Oh, I heard. Yeah, I heard it was. I'm kidding. It's not. So just that there was a little confusion. The email that was sent out was trying to clear up confusion, but it caused a different level of confusion because there was something that said that the parent company is going to be called Parks. It's just like it's the best way to describe that. It's just like a piece of paperwork entity thing with the state, right? So Village is not going away. Village is staying Village. Parks is staying Parks. And but we got a couple Parks people here today. Stephanie, you have any coming soons? I mean, you would if you were Village, but that's all right. Just kidding. I know the stuff you can handle that. So, although Gabe Neese just texted. Is Gabe here? Gabe texted me and said he's got a coming soon in Green Hills, 1901 Warfield, modern, 28-25 square feet, 3.5 with a rooftop deck, designer selections, marble master bathroom for $829. So if you want to see that, call Gabe at Neese, N-I-E-S. What were your takeaways today?
Market's strong.
The market's strong.
Low inventory.
Low inventory, low rates. People moving from California. That's a melting pot that equals what? I mean, it's a good place to be. What else? What are 30-year fixed rates? 3.5. What was the lowest month of inventory ever in the last 18 years? Right? Was it was January, right? Yeah, second lowest month ever. Second lowest month in the last 18 years. That was close. All right, anything else? So Lee and Loy and Colin are going to be teaching their crafting killer contingencies. What time are y'all going to start that? 10:30. All right, so go check your email. Come out. Virginia's got something.
Did we get our Parks Village coming soon by our need?
Yeah, we did. And so in that first email, or maybe the second one, there was a link. And if you go to, I'm going to try to remember it. I think I will send it out again. I'll send it out again. And we'll post it on the Facebook group. But yes, there is a new Facebook group, and I just can't remember, but it's something simple like facebook.com/coming soon. With an S. All right, facebook.com/groups with an S /coming soon. Make sense? Facebook.com/groups with an S /coming soon with an S. That's pretty cool to be able to land that. All right, so join that, and that'll be a place where you can share joint stuff. And I'm sure we'll have there will be more things in terms of being cohesive and ways to do that. But for right now, it's a good way for everybody to connect. All right, y'all come back at 10:30 and learn about contingencies. See ya.